please.
Commissioner Davis,
Here.
Commissioner Ezell,
Here.
Commissioner Winters,
Here.
Commissioner Lance,
Here.
Commissioner Rogers.
Yes.
If everyone would stand if you can and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Chairman Winters, our city staff is at a mandatory kind of a continuing education for credits, and so they're in Murfreesboro. I'll handle calling the list here. Has everybody had an opportunity to look and review the minutes from the August 8th meeting?
Yes. I make a motion we accept the minutes from the August 8th meeting.
We have a motion and a second.
I
Get a roll.
second.
Have a motion and a second. Can we get a roll call, please, to approve the minutes?
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Ezell,
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers,
I was absent.
Commissioner Lance,
I was not present either.
and Chairman Winters.
Yes. Our first case on the agenda tonight is 3416 Land Street. Can we get an update on that property, please?
Yes, sir. So the house still remains in the same state that it was last month. The bank has not reached out about the property. I sent the order from last month stating that you guys were requesting somebody from the U.S. Bank of Trust to be here tonight, and they are not here.
Okay. I noticed the house is still on the market for sale,
Yes, sir.
and nothing's been improved. Nobody's been over there working on.
No,
I know
sir.
I went by the house probably a week and a half ago, and the property's overgrown. It's still that way?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No response at all. I think that U.S. Bank, was that U.S. Bank on that property, or?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And no response at all?
No, sir. I did receive a green card back for satisfied service, but they never called. They get an email. I haven't heard anything.
They didn't send any written correspondence back. Certified.
You know, we've been through this several times with other mortgage companies. And have any recommendations from any of the other board members?
I think if they're not going to take the time to respond back and they're not going to fix it, that we send them a letter that we're going to tear it down.
That's my sentiments exactly. I would condemn the property and give them 10 days to appeal it, and it would be my recommendation.
Sir, how much y'all asking for that property?
We don't sell property, sir. We try to get them in compliance. We don't have absolutely,
Contact, I'll buy that house.
well, you would have to get in touch with the mortgage company. Yeah, this is not the time for that, but we can talk to you about it later. But,
All right.
So, yeah, explain to me how we're going to do this then.
Well, I think the way you do, you make a motion to demolish, put a time period on it, and in that time period, we'll get notice to anyone that has interest in the property, and it will be demolished. I mean, we've got to get it out anyway, because there's a
Correct.
period of appeal. But I think the easy way is motion to demolish the property in X number of days.
I make a motion that we demolish the property at 3416 Land Street in 30 days.
I second that motion.
okay, we have a motion, a second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Ezell,
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers,
Yes.
Commissioner Lance, Commissioner Winters.
Yes. Next property on our schedule is 1024 Hurst Street getting an update on that property, please?
So I think the representatives are here as well. So I'm gonna ask them to come up because they're not sure what they want to do. Repair, remodel has been talked about, but also possibly selling as is has been talked about. So I'm gonna let them have the chance to.
Okay, that's
Discuss.
fine. Good evening. If you would, state your name, telephone number, and address, please, for the record.
I'm here for my dad. My
Okay.
name is Mukta Mansafa. Phone number 423-208-5869.
Okay.
And can you spell your full name?
Moukda.
Your last name?
Mansapha.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm okay.
Okay.
We are actually dealing, communicating with the contractor right now. It's, was it ACURS Restructuring Company?
I'm sorry, say it again.
How do you pronounce that?
Arcus Restoration,
Yes.
whoever that is.
Off of Jersey Pike,
Okay, spell the name of the company.
AC,
ARCUS.
ARCUS,
Artus, A-R-T-U-S.
with a C.
Arcus. Arcus.
Arcus, okay. I'm not familiar with them, but go ahead.
And I think we're gonna go forward and repair it soon as they, draw all the, costs and everything, and they're gonna deal with the insurance, whatever additional information I get, I'll get back with you guys. But, yeah, we're trying to get all this done as quick
Okay,
as possible.
you've already settled with the insurance company, or are you still working with the
We're
insurance
still
company?
working with them. They're gonna be paying either all or the majority of the repair.
Okay.
And whatever's left is between us and,
As long as you're proceeding, going forward, keep in touch with codes enforcement.
okay, who would that be?
Okay.
Did you say that the insurance company is still working with you on this?
We still communicate with the claim department, Tim Dickerson, yes. They are they're saying it's 84,000 worth of damage, but due to, high cost and everything, the, repair people, they're saying, it might cost a bit more, so we might have to end up paying the different out of pocket or whatever, get a loan, whatever. But we want the house repaired as soon as possible, which is, it's a long process.
Have you already gotten a contract with the construction company?
We have been communicating with them. We tried to call them today. My daughter trying to call them today, and they haven't reached back out to us, but, we are gonna go that forward and get it all started.
So have they came out and done a scope of work or
I
anything?
believe that they did.
Okay.
And we have been keeping the landscape kind of updated and stuff like that, so complaints with the the residents.
We're open for a motion to pass this case for 30 days.
Yeah, I was fixing to say, I make a motion, we pass this case to the October meeting. Let me see when it is. The October 12th meeting.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion second to pass this case for 1 month and see what kind of progress you're making on it. Get a roll call.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes?
Commissioner Ezell?
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers?
Yes.
Commissioner Lance?
Yes.
Chairman Winters?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any information you get and come up with, stay in touch with codes enforcement, please.
Where's your office at?
Here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's here. My email's on there, so is my, at my desk.
Okay.
I'll get back to you as soon as I see it.
Yeah, as soon as I get more detail,
Yeah.
I'll reach out to you.
Make sure you guys let them know too, since the higher structure up to current code.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanna make sure y'all know before y'all get in.
Well, yeah, I don't know all the codes, but
Yeah,
they should. know.
they should.
All right, thank you guys.
Next property is 893 Donaldson Road. You have an update on that one?
Yes, sir. The last time we were here, the owners had to get an eviction notice filed with the courts downtown, just because they are planning on demoing it, but they had some tough tenants. I called him on Monday, and he told me that the writ for eviction was issued, so everything is good to go on that end. all the things that were left in the house, they've been removed of. I also sent him information on Monday on how to obtain a demolition permit. He already has a demolition guy ready to go, so as soon as they obtain those permits, I would say within next week it should be demoed.
Okay. All right, this house is, as far as I know, has already been ordered to be demolished, and we need to have a vote on it, or,
Was that the last order?
we were waiting on, I think, the last time.
Last order was passed to this meeting, waiting on the
Time to allow
eviction
the
notice.
owners To evict the
Yes.
tenants?
Yes,
Okay.
Now, they've been evicted, so,
I mean, they're voluntarily demolishing the property.
yes.
If you want, just do, you pass 30 days just
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, I'll just make a motion that we pass 893 Donaldson Road to October 12th for an update.
A second.
okay. We have a motion and a second to pass it 30 days. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Ezell,
Yes,
Commissioner Rogers,
Yes.
Commissioner Lance,
Yes.
Chairman Winters.
Yes. We have 1500 Keble Street on the agenda. This property was already ordered to be condemned, and from what I understand, they filed a 10-day appeal and went before the city commission. This case, they had the opportunity, from what I understood, they were going to Chancery Court to appeal the city's decision. Is that where we stand on this case?
As far as I know, yes, sir.
Okay, now this property's already been ordered condemned.
Yes, sir.
So it's out of our hands, so,
Right, there's really no action to take. This body did, I've got the order here that was signed, that it was deemed to be unfit for human habitation and ordered that the property be demolished. That order was appealed timely and went before the city council, who reaffirmed the decision of this body, and so therefore the demolition will proceed. There is a period of appeal, I want to say 60 days after the city council, and so after that appeal period expires, assuming no appeal has been filed, then I would recommend you can, at that point, you can demolish at that point. So but there's no action, that's just an update.
okay. All right,
So do we need to push this 60 days?
You can, at this, yeah, that's fine, just to, if for nothing else, so this body can be updated, but it's really, the city will demolish it. They don't need any further action by this body, they can just demolish it, but it's not a bad exercise just for you all to stay informed, and it's another effort for y'all to stay transparent if you want to get updates on that property.
well, if we can get whoever's preparing the agenda to just keep it on for us so we can get updates periodically. The next property is on there.
wait a minute. So do we need to make a motion to pass this to November 8th?
We don't need them.
You probably could just add to the agenda an updated, it's probably not a bad idea on a section just to update, but there's no action to pass it really.
Okay,
I'll ask Ms. Mahoney when she makes the agenda, why don't I do this, ask her to, in the agenda, before we get into the items, why don't I have her include old business section?
okay.
And at that point, we'll hear from code enforcement as an update on the property. How about that?
Okay.
And that way we clarify that it's not something for action, and I'll talk to Ms. Mahoney on that.
Okay.
Next property is 5305 Canal Street. Oh, we're fine there, thank you. Would state your name and,
Anel Selimovic.
I'm sorry.
Anel Selimovic.
Could you spell that?
Anel, last name is Selimovic. I'm not familiar with this. The house, I already got the windows order. All the inside the house been cleaned out. I had about 6, 7 dumpster down there. It was too much trash inside from a previously owner in it. So I cleaned out, we pulled the permit, and we about to start working this weekend inside all the framing, bring it up to the code.
Okay. Is codes enforcement happy with what they're doing it and everything's
Everything's
following
clear.
within your guidelines?
Yes, sir, yeah. The property's maintained, it's It's not high grass.
Yeah.
There is a dumpster out there currently as we speak, so I know that they've
Yeah.
been doing some work on the inside, and permits are pulled with our department,
Yeah.
so.
We've been swapping the dumpsters daily. So every time we fill up, we bring the empty one right away. So
Okay.
we had a lot of dumpster down there, probably like 7, 8 dumpster. I can show you my invoices. There was a lot of trash on the back of the house and inside the house.
Okay. Since he's in compliance and everything, could we add this one to the one to just get updates on it? Okay.
And,
That way we don't have to perform any action on it.
Is there anybody else, well, before we do
Get
that,
off
I
the
guess,
books.
does anybody want to make a motion as it relates to the
I do
property?
this for a living.
Not if we don't have to, I guess.
Yeah, okay. Right. Yeah, I should be, yeah, anyone can make a motion if they want to put it as an item for action next time. If it's just for, right now, you can always have old business at the next one, pull it from that and make it an
Yeah, I would
action
pull the
item for the
permit.
following. So let's
Let's do that.
Okay, so I'm gonna place on October agenda.
Some of the stuff like windows and all that, it takes a little time because there was a shortage. So I already ordered, that should be coming in really shortly.
Oh, I understand, but,
Yeah, because
building
I
products
I
and-
do this for a living. I have one house, new construction. It's been framed out in the East Brainerd area, and I'm waiting right now 6 weeks.
As long as we're moving forward on the property, that's what we're mainly interested in. And you've pulled your permits, you're working with codes enforcement.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're interested in.
Definitely, and I'm willing to do some more business if we have opportunity to get these on the books.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next property on our agenda is 711 State Line Road. Do we have any updates on this property from our last meeting?
I'm gonna let Mr. Litchford have this one, because I think it went in front of council the last time.
So here's the, if you remember back, May, I believe it was, or maybe April, this body passed a resolution, for the city to undertake efforts to clean up the property that, was bid out, and the bid came back at $18,000, which triggered the need for city council approval. This body voted to pass, or to move this to city council for approval, and that city council approved the bid of $18,000. Subsequent to that time period, I think codes had gone out, and there was some improvements to the property. And that triggered this body to request that Chairman Winters approach the city council requesting a stay of the previous city council resolution that was approved, the $18,000 cleanup bid. And they did in fact stay their previously approved resolution. There was an update at that time that the bid had gone from 18,000 down to, Mr. Howell, was it 14,000? 14,500. So a reduction, and that was the last time. The city council had the opportunity to take this up again at the August meeting, and at that time publicly requested that the item be placed on the September Housing Commission agenda, which it is today before you all. And the council is looking for some recommended guidance that you all would like the council to consider, because they have stayed that resolution that they passed. But that resolution is not stayed indefinitely. And so my understanding from the last city council meeting was they were asking this body to identify or to provide guidance in a form of a recommendation. That was in August. Since that time, Ms. Holder, have you had an opportunity to go back out to the property? Okay. What can you tell this body as to what you observed?
Same pretty much as last month. The front has made tremendous progression. It's clean. Now, for the rest of the property, I can't tell you. I don't want to say it remains in the same state, but the front is cleaned up.
I have some questions. First of all, I'd like to know about the bid, $14,500. What does that include? Is that just for cleaning the property? Is it for cleaning the vegetation that hadn't been maintained? Does it include the house? What does that bid include?
So reflective of what's been done at the front now, 18,500 was the original bid. Freedom Roll-Off went back out and reduced that to 14,500. Now that 14,500 still entails the back of the property.
Okay, it doesn't include the residence.
No, sir,
Okay.
it's the
It's
cleanup
just
on the
the-
property, yeah.
Debris on the property, it
That's
doesn't
correct.
include the vegetation, overgrown vegetation?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. My other question, Mr. Watkins, who is Dennis, Anna Pearl Dennis? Who is she?
What difference does that make? You're dealing with me. I
You're not the registered owner of the property.
have power of attorney. What I'd like to say about the backyard is anything that was questionable, I tried my best to remove. I've been injured, and I was very
I
limited.
understand that. Let me get this. Who is Anna Pearl Dennis? Who is she?
Relative,
Okay. Is she alive?
Yes.
Is she deceased?
alive,
Okay. How can she be contacted?
can't.
Why?
Well, I can, but I have power of attorney, and all of this falls on me. I don't want to be made homeless, so I don't bother nobody. I try to deal with it all myself, and trust me, I don't want to be homeless. And can we just let it go with that?
No, sir, because I've done quite a bit, I've been looked at a lot of records back, and I'm really interested. I've gone through the death records. I've gone through all the local records in Tennessee, South Carolina, Kentucky, and
Right.
Georgia, and I can't come up with this lady.
Okay.
And I know you're picking up the mail annually, and somebody's paying the property tax
Right.
since 1992 under her name.
Right.
I want to know if she's alive, she's in existence, or you're there by squatting. Are you a
No,
squatter?
I'm not a squatter, no.
Would you have a copy of the power of attorney
I
that was
have a right
issued
to
to
be. I
you?
don't have it with me, no.
I mean, what gives you the right? Who gave you permission to be there, and to
Trust me,
begin
I
with?
help. Are you trying to make me homeless, sir?
No,
Please
sir,
tell me you're
I'm
trying to
not.
make me homeless. What are you trying to do? What's your mission?
I'm asking you a question.
Okay, I'm giving you the best answer that I know possible. What is the motive for your questioning?
Why?
What does it matter? I'm there, I'm legally there, or I wouldn't be there.
Well, I'd like to know that you are there legally.
Well,
I'd like
you
to
do know that, I just told you.
If Miss Dennis is still alive, I'd like to know her contact information. And if she is, I'd like to know what relationship she is to you.
I respect this body, and I respect each of you, but I don't understand why you're prying into my life. I've complied with everything you've asked me to do.
Well, we've been over.
I've went above and beyond, and I don't understand.
This case has been for our board for 1 year now.
I understand.
It's been over a year. It's been 13 months. This month is 13 months since the
13
complaint was
months too
filed.
long.
And I've been out on a limb too to try to help you too in this case.
I know.
And I've even offered to let some of my employees come over and help you at $15 an hour.
I appreciate
to clean
that.
your property up.
Right.
And you said you couldn't afford it. I said, well, with all the debris you've got in the backyard, I said, maybe they'll come just pick up the scrap for you and move it. And you said, well, I know what my scrap's worth in the backyard, and I'm not interested. I can do it myself. Now, your lot's 300 feet deep. You got 150 foot of road frontage. You've got plenty of room in the back of your property to put those buildings and make your property look like just a normal residential property.
Right.
And you're not doing that. When I drove by today, you were getting in your truck, but you've got it looking like a fortress over there. You've got one entrance going into your back side of your property, and all you gotta do is close your gate, and it looks like a fort.
Actually, there's two entrances, but you can't see the other one.
Yeah, but,
I had a point I was going to make. I forget. If I don't make the point when it comes to my mind, I forget it. Sometimes it
I
may seem like I'm
understand,
butting in, but I'm not.
and I'm not here to try to jump on you. I'm trying to come to get this case resolved.
If I could say this, the aerial pictures that you have of that property are so antiquated, it's unreal. It looks nothing like that. There's the aerial photographs were taken 20 years ago. Not Commissioner, but Mr. Winters had one on his phone that he showed me. And some of the things that was in the picture have been gone 15 years. A lot of the things, as a matter of
You've
fact.
gotten rid of some of the automobiles and
Sir?
things that are back there, the automobiles.
I interject?
I'd like to ask you another question too.
Sure.
Now, you're Larry. Who is David Watkins?
I'm Larry David.
You're Larry David.
Right.
So you're the one that had the cleanup shop there for a while.
I didn't have the cleanup shop there. A boy named Greg Wilson had one there. It actually wasn't a cleanup shop. It was just more or less an office. He didn't do any work there. There was no work performed there. It was just like an office.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry to rewind 13 months ago, but I'm looking at the initial notice, and it was a notice to repair, clean up, or demolish, and it appears the concern was the roof of weather decay, also appears to have some sway and sagging, but the big problem was there was no way to really look at the home for safety purposes because of the neglect of the yard and the things in front of the house. I think that may have been where we kind of got
As far as I know, the
Misled.
interior of the house has never been inspected, has it?
So what, do you feel me unfit to take care of myself? You think I live in squalor?
No, sir.
Well, apparently you do. I mean, that's what you're getting at.
No, sir. Out of all the properties we look at in our 8 square miles of city out here, yours is the worst property in the whole city of East Ridge.
But what's?
And you want to turn the tail, and you want to make everybody else feel bad.
No, sir, I don't.
But the
make
only
it-
thing we're trying to get you to do is comply with East Ridge City Code. I've got a copy of the deeds, the warranty deed, where your family signed this over to Miss Dennis. And within these deeds here, it says you're required to abide by all of the city ordinances and all the regulations thereon. And you're not abiding by the rules and regulations.
When was it? What's the date on that?
1992.
Okay, there's a lot of things changed since '92, right? I mean, a lot of the ordinances have changed, right?
Well, still in 92, it says you're to abide by all the
So
rules
is
and
it-
regulations.
So is it self-perpetuating? It renews itself?
But you're
In other words-
non-compliant on any of those.
Okay, well, see, I don't know. Y'all have benefit of counsel, I don't. And, I'm just, I'm not the
Well-
sharpest peg in the pouch.
Well, see, I found out too the other day when I was doing a background search, trying to find out more about Miss Dennis. And if she did pass away, I was trying to find out if the case was ever probated. And there's no records in Hamilton County that she did pass away, and there's no records where that property has ever been probated. So that,
What
makes her
does
stand
probated
out
mean?
that much more.
What
Pardon?
does probate
After she
mean?
died, where her estate was settled
Yeah.
through the court. And,
Some more of government in people's affairs. God love you, bless
Well-
you, bless your heart.
well, there's more to it than that.
Well,
And
I
then I
see.
find out later, as I'm investigating, that a year ago, the city of East Ridge put a $2,700 lien against your property.
Why would they do
Because
that?
they had filed a complaint several months prior to it coming before our housing board for non-compliant on account of the automobiles, the debris on your property. And there's a lien against your property right now for $2,700 for non-compliant.
What do you call debris? You remember when I came in here and I said, okay, I'll try my best to comply with everything you've got. And I set a bunch of stuff out on the side of the road. That was all of the debris that was involved back there. And I don't understand what can you see at 40 mile an hour going down the road? What bothers
Well, the
bothers you?
neighbors and the real estate, the appraisals for all the other property around it, which you're not concerned with.
Well, they can't, everything that they can see, what can they see through the fence? Nothing. They can see absolutely nothing through the fence.
Well,
I mean, what's the problem? As far as they're concerned, that yard looks just like their yard. I mean, in my opinion, of course, you'll have to excuse me for having an opinion. It's probably not the right opinion, but it's my opinion.
On the thing you have that's a year ago or 13 months ago, was he at that hearing?
yes, he was there, and it was heard before Chris Harris. And he had 60 days to appeal it in Chancery Court, but you never did appeal the
Again,
decision.
I didn't know. See, y'all have benefit of counsel. I don't. I can't afford, every time y'all come out.
I didn't
and-
talk to an attorney about this.
And every time y'all start spitting out stuff for me to do, I don't have an attorney to turn to. I don't have the money for that.
Well, if you're
mean,
gonna
I'm not-
live there and you're gonna reside there, and you're gonna call that your home, you need to get an attorney and get that property changed over into your name. If you're the primary occupant and you say you're in charge of it, you've got power of attorney. I still want to know how to get a hold of Miss Dennis if she's alive and what relationship she is to you. Can you tell me that?
Does that pertain to this? How does that pertain to
Sure it
this?
does. I want to know if you're a squatter there at that property, if you have a right to be there.
I am not. I am not. Has it come to the point that I do need to get, counsel, in your opinion, should I get an attorney? Because the last dang gum thing I want to do is be thrown out of a place where I am legally allowed to live.
Hey, Mr. Watkins, listen. You're not the title record owner of the property.
So,
When we are dealing with property that we're trying to get compliance with,
is it your goal to take the property? Is that the ultimate goal of this body,
Hey,
to
Mr.
take the
Watkins.
property? You've got a
Miss
$2,700 lien.
Dennis has an interest in the property. She's the title
Are you
owner.
interested in taking it? Is that
No.
what this is about?
No.
Is that what this whole thing's about?
Again,
No.
no, it's
Well,
about
it must be,
compliance.
because that's the way we're headed.
The reason is there's
You got
gonna be, there's,
$2,700 against it, what keep you from getting 2,700 more?
Mr. Watkins, the effort is to achieve compliance.
Okay, we'll comply.
And-
Tell me what I need to do. Just tell me what I need to do and we'll do it.
Miss,
Or
Miss-
we shall.
Sir,
do it.
Mr. Miss Dennis has an interest in the property. To the extent that this panel takes the efforts to clean the property, that's an action that's going to impact Miss Dennis because she's the title record owner of the property, and that's why Mr. Winters is asking for contact information.
I have a question.
Well, no, Mr. Watkins,
I have a
that's,
question.
that's the reason we want to know where Miss Watkins is to get in touch with her. We don't have any knowledge as,
Miss
or
Dennis.
Miss Dennis. All right, we understand you're representing her interest.
Right?
And she's receiving all these notices because they're being sent both hand delivery and U.S. mail. But we're not certain that she actually knows as to the actions that are being taken. And she, if she had knowledge, might have taken a different course of action than what you've done so far. And she may be feeling that she's going to be impacted if the interest of this commission is to move forward with the
At the risk of getting thrown out of the property, I'll relay your concerns. At the risk of being thrown off the property, I will relay your concerns. But my question to you is this $14,000 that you're gonna pay somebody to come in and take things that they don't own, is that not like double jeopardy because I lose the benefit, I lose the value of the things taken, plus there's a $14,000 debt incurred? So how does that work? Is that not double jeopardy? Is that not like charging somebody for murder twice?
We've given you the opportunity for the past year to, we worked with you.
I've
Every
been
time you
sick.
come up and you tell us you're
I've
sick.
had three
We did that
surgeries,
through
sir.
we did that through the winter.
I've had 3 surgeries. Well,
You're younger than I am, and,
no, I'm
I
not.
deal
I'm
with
71
issues.
years old.
Well, I'm 73, so I've got a
Bless
couple
your
of
heart.
years on you.
I'm glad we made it.
But,
I just wish that my last years on this planet could be carefree and I didn't have to worry about, constant. See, you got counsel, I don't.
what's the recommendations for codes enforcement right now as we stand?
It is the recommendation at this point that the property needs to be cleaned up effective immediately, that the city undertake the efforts to clean this property.
That's correct. I mean, Mr. Watkins stated a little bit ago that, the property is completely different from what it was 16, 17 years ago. You look at GIS aerials with the new 2022 maps that came out, we're looking at the same thing. You can see the progress actually on the new aerials where the front's cleaned up, the backs, there's a lot on it.
I'm asking this body.
Hold
to
on, Mr.
Please don't
Watkins.
take the things that I have stored for what little retirement I've got. If I need to, I'll start tomorrow and move everything out of it. If that's what it takes, that's what I'll try my best to do. Because I'm tired of this. I've lost sleep. I'm ill. I'm angry. I'm sick. I can't stand this. There's no reason for this. There's nothing bothering anybody in that backyard except you and you. There's nothing back there to bother nobody.
It's bothering your neighbors, Mr. Watkins.
Who?
Your
in particular?
neighbors.
Where are they at? I don't hear their voice.
Well, we didn't ask them to come up here. It's up to the codes enforcement to bring you before the board and try to get you to clean your property up, and you haven't done that. You've had every opportunity to do that.
Brother, I tried my best, I really have, and you've seen me make a difference.
Well, I know when this first came, we passed it for several months, and then the next time you had a gentleman down there with a backhoe, and, then I noticed this probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, you had a small track hoe over there.
Right.
But I didn't see anything happening over there. But anyway,
Let me show you something, if I may, This knee right here, see what size this knee is?
I understand.
Now, let me show you knee too. I'm not trying to whine or get out of anything, but you wouldn't do it.
Well,
Look,
it's,
see, and I went to all the trouble to get that backhoe that you call it over there, and couldn't use it. I wasn't able to use it. But I'm gonna get it back over there, and if I have to haul it across the scales, that's what I'll do. I don't wanna do that, but I just want,
Well-
I just want y'all to have something else to deal with except 7-Eleven.
well, my recommendation to the housing board is to go ahead and proceed with the cleanup order.
You're
The
talking about
bid,
letting people come in, I
well,
don't know.
just let me
Still my
finish.
stuff.
And that gives you the opportunity,
Who did?
you can appeal the case after we make our decision to the city commission. And, but between now and then, you have the opportunity to remove all that debris off your property.
What debris are you talking about? What are
I'm
you
talking
calling
about all
debris?
the car parts, everything you can see in this aerial photograph right here.
Can you send, can somebody get that for me, please?
I have a question for codes while we're looking at that. All the things that you remove from the front yard, that's all, that's better, it's compliant, you can get to the home. The items that Mr. Winters is questioning in the backyard,
This is not accurate.
how is that against codes? Is it a safety issue? Is it chemicals going into the ground and groundwater? Is it, okay.
So, per the codes that we've adopted, not only as a city municipality, but also through the International Property Maintenance Code back in 2018, it states that you cannot have any disabled autos stored on a property that is not tagged and titled with the state of Tennessee and that cannot properly run and drive on the city streets
When was that adopted?
in 2018.
Well, it was updated. It's been in place for
That shouldn't apply
much
to me.
longer than that.
There's
I
no
mean, I was there.
grandfathered in of the codes. It's something that we
yeah.
follow.
It's been in place, yes. It's been in place forever.
This is not
Mr.
accurate.
Davis.
Well,
There's now a road up through here, and that's not showing here. You wouldn't believe how much stuff that I've moved out of there. And for God's sake, don't send people I don't know in to steal my stuff, and that's what it is. It's stealing my property. If you allow this container company to come in there and take machines and remove my property, that's stealing from me. How can it be anything else? It's stealing. If I come to your house and do the same thing, you'd have me arrested.
Mr. Watkins, we've been trying to get you to get in compliance for over a year. This housing board here, not counting what, the other housing court that placed the fine on you, they've been trying for almost a year to get you to get in compliance, and you just seem to be reluctant to do that. You have cleaned the front part of your house up, but I asked you the last time I went before the city commission and asked them to stay that $18,000 bid. I asked you then to move the cars out from the front of your house and the trailer and put it behind your house. Your property goes back 300 feet. None of this wooded area has been utilized in the back of your property. But you told me your dog liked to sleep there under that trailer, and that's why you were gonna leave it there.
Oh, I moved it.
Well, it was sitting there last night. It was sitting there when I came by today.
Where?
And you've got
In front?
you've got an SUV sitting there right in front of a bedroom window, it looks like.
That's not my house. There's no SUV there.
Well, it looks like an SUV with a cargo-like trailer, you know. hooked up behind it.
Are you sure that you've got the
Yes,
right
sir.
house?
Ms. Holder, have you been back out to the property? Right. Are there still disabled vehicles in the property?
In the backyard, I've never, Charlie Ritchie, when he was here, he's the one that saw all that. I haven't saw any.
How did
Looking
you
at
see
the-
that?
Looking at the aerial view, it does show that there is, vehicles back there, and we looked at the 2022 GIS map as well, and it's still showing there's stuff back there.
Would it help if maybe we went back out and reevaluated the property to see if we're in compliance or not from all the work he's done?
If given consent, I will.
One of the items is the bid that we received expires on the 24th. Some of the options you could do here are the that expires on September 23rd. You could go back out and inspect, and then you could have a meeting before the next council meeting. You could have one even on the 22nd you could have it at 5 o'clock, just to have a quick meeting and update from codes if they go back out. Because I think council's looking for a response from you all. And if the idea is codes can go out there, look, provide an update, then you can have a special called meeting on, say, the 22nd. Ms. Holder can provide that guidance. You all can make a vote at that time in time for the 6 o'clock city council meeting. Mr. Watkins, you'll be at both meetings, so you'll have an opportunity to address the council at both those.
I love
And-
coming up here. I spent so much time.
Hold on, Mr. Watkins. Hold on.
I mean, I understand if you.
Hold on, Mr. Watkins.
And I don't mean any disrespect to this board. And
Right.
please forgive me for
So
being.
if that's an option, if you would like, is if Ms. Holder is saying she's not had an opportunity to actually look and inspect the back to make a determination as to whether there are vehicles back there that may be, or other debris in addition to non-operable vehicles, Ms. Holder could come and provide that updated information, and then this body can take action in time for the city council meeting on the 22nd, because the bid does expire on the 23rd.
Mr. Watkins has to agree to let them come look, though.
Well,
Only if I can come look at your backyard.
we can get an,
Absolutely.
we can get a
Can I come look at your
administrative
backyard? But what if there's something
Can
there I
we-
don't like?
Mr.
Get
Watkins,
rid of it?
hey, Mr. Watkins,
Yes, sir.
are you going to permit inspection of the back of your
Absolutely
property?
not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
That's fine. Then with that, with the rejection of that, what we'll do is we'll go forward with the procedures to get an administrative inspection, and we'll do it that way. And so, but I just want to be clear, you are rejecting access to the rear of your property for an
Why should
inspection.
I allow you access to anywhere?
I'm just,
Show me in writing where that's allowable.
Mr.
Put that
Watkins,
in writing.
are you,
Where you can come to somebody's dadgum house and walk behind their house and nose into their business. Show me that in writing, sir.
Mr. Are you denying the,
Show me that in writing, sir, and I'll be more than happy to make a decision then. I'm withdrawing any decision previously made until I see a copy of it in writing, please. Like I asked this gentleman here at the council meeting. I had to clean up a tree that night. See, I've been bullied around. That's one reason I'm as ill as I am. I had to clean up a tree next door to me because code said that it was my responsibility to clean that tree up. I had to burn the chip to get that tree cleaned up.
Mr. Watkins, if you don't consent for them to get to come inspect the backyard, all they're gonna do is get a warrant, and they will come and do it. It would be nice and be helpful if you would just go ahead and allow that.
What law have I broken? What law have I broken? Please tell me that.
Mr. Watkins?
See, you've got counsel and I don't.
We've been here for 2 hours, two years now, different departments of codes enforcement trying to explain. They put it in writing. Every one of these codes you violated on here. This is the original code from almost 2 years ago that they presented to you, and it's got it spelled out, what your violations are. And if you need another copy of it, I'd be happy to get them to run you a copy of it.
Thank you.
All right. But what we're asking for now is permission to come on your property and look and see what the back side of your property looks like.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll make you a deal. I'll let you see everything you can see from 40 mile an hour down the road, just like you've seen it before. How's that?
Mr.
Is
Watkins?
that fair?
Mr. Watkins, we're going to treat that as a rejection, a denial of access to inspect.
No, I said.
Mr. Watkins, we're going to move on. All right, we're going to treat it as a denial. the city will undertake the efforts that it has to get the inspection.
Let me
If-
ask you a
let me ask
question.
this.
Let me ask you a question.
Is there a motion from this body?
Before you do that, let me ask you a
Mr.
question.
Watkins,
Let me ask
Mr.
you a
Watkins,
question.
stop.
No, let me ask you a question, please.
Is there a motion from this body to pass this to next Thursday to give an opportunity for codes to do an inspection on the rear of the property?
I will not be available for that.
Okay. I should ask, Mr. Rogers, are you available next Thursday at 5?
What?
Next Thursday at 5 o'clock, are you available to be here for a meeting? So we would have a quorum.
I'll be in Nashville Thursday. Can Mr. Howell present what I find, my findings?
Oh, yeah, that's not a problem. We'll work, we can, as long as we have a representative of Code Department, that's fine. Is there a motion to pass this and have a special called meeting on September 22nd to allow the city an opportunity to inspect the rear of the property?
Okay, I make a motion, we pass this to September 22nd to allow codes to inspect the rear of Mr. Watkins' property, and then have a special call meeting.
Second.
Who seconded? Okay.
Okay, we have a motion second. Get a roll call, please. Okay, we'll have a,
Here we go. All right, we have a motion. This is to pass this to September 22nd for a special called meeting to allow the city an opportunity to inspect the property. And they'll have a special called meeting on the 22nd at 5 o'clock, at which time the commission will make a determination as to what action it wants to take towards city council on that evening of the 22nd at 6 o'clock. That's the motion that's, and seconded by Ms. Lance. I'll do a roll call. Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Ezell,
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers,
Yes.
Commissioner Lance,
Yes.
Chairman Winters.
yes. I'm still requesting that you give me the information on how to get in touch with Ms. Dennis.
I have a question for the attorney.
Okay.
Are you familiar with a lawyer named Mike Holloway? Do you know an attorney named Mike Holloway?
Mr. Watkins, at this time, your matter has been concluded. I will talk with you after if you'd like, but we have a next matter to call.
No, I'd
on
like
the
it to be
agenda.
a matter of record. I would like it to be, because Mr. Holloway told me, I had him defend me on one of these things, and you and he had a little conversation. And on me exiting his car, he said, good luck with the city like you're gonna need it. And you know, it's been hell ever since.
Yes, sir. Our next
I'm
case
just
on the
wondering if you're
agenda,
Getting to enact revenge.
Mr.
I'm wondering that.
Mr. Watkins, you continue to be non-compliant with codes enforcement and with the housing board as you have been, but your case is over now, and we'll see you again on the 22nd. Okay?
Thank you. But again.
Yes, sir.
This photograph is not current. This
Well-
does not represent what all I've done. I've worked my hind end off in the back there, and thank you for listening to me. And please have a little mercy on an old man's soul, and I'll appreciate it.
Thank you,
Hopefully,
Mr. Watkins.
God won't let nothing like this happen to you.
Thank you, Mr. Watkins.
Have a nice day, gentlemen.
Next property on the agenda is 715 Belvoir Avenue. Have any updates on that property?
You guys requested this one be brought back, I'm assuming because it's just been sitting for as long as it is. I sent notice out to that property, and Mr. Litchford also had a different address for the owners as well. Both envelopes got sent back to me, so I do not think that they've received notice.
Did we send it certified?
Yes, sir.
And did they come back unclaimed?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. If they come back unclaimed, having been sent to the proper, and that, I've gotten confirmation that the updated current one is the Lookout Valley as their resident. On the rules of procedure, that is determined now to be good service. The action now, has there been any posting of any nature on the property?
No, sir, I didn't post it.
So, was there a U.S. mailing also sent to those addresses? Generally, Ms. Mahoney, I think, sends both.
Possibly, I would have to look back in the file,
Okay.
but I know it was sent to both locations.
What was the notice that was sent to them?
I think it was a show cause hearing.
Okay, that's right. All right, so
We have it added on as an update.
what is the What is the conditions that exist on the property?
To my knowledge, it's been sitting longer than I've been with the city. Nothing is being done. It's essentially just being run down. It's not being maintained. I know that this year and previous years, we've had to, especially peak season of, grass, we have to send out posts for cleanups because they kind of fall behind. Once they get that one post for cleanup, however they get that post for cleanup, they do maintain it. But other than that, the structure itself, they're not. It just sits by itself.
Occupied?
No.
No, it's unoccupied, and from what I understand, the last time when Mr. Ritchie was here, they looked at the property, and the fireplace has got water running inside between the fireplace and,
Are utilities active on the structure?
I haven't checked those. I can call EPB tomorrow to see if the power's on.
That just, it raises a possibility for vagrancy and pests that could overrun the structure and then go to neighbors and.
The only thing that I could see the last time I was there when I had to post on the structure for post for cleanup, I could see through the garage because you got the little glass windows. It didn't look too hot. And structurally outside, you're starting to get some, chip paint, some rotted wood. So eventually something is going to give. And I haven't been on the inside to really see if there's anything else structurally wrong with it. So.
Should we send an order for inspection?
We can.
That? Just to see if it's structurally sound, what needs to be done with it, So I make a motion to, I guess, have it codes request inspection. Would that be?
okay?
I'll second.
Okay,
I just had a question.
okay. We have a mo-
When was this brought before us?
It's been on here for several years.
Because I don't have records of it, that's why I was asking.
Mr. Wilson asked for it to be brought last month.
I think there was a time, Mr. Ezel, years ago, it was on the, either on this or the HO for cleanup on the property and inspect, or not inspect, but clean up with the debris.
Okay.
And I think they actually did undertake efforts enough to cure those to the satisfaction of the city. Since that time, I'm not certain any other further.
I know
and
it's
now
been
back.
about 5 years ago when I went and took the American flag down off the front porch.
Okay.
Well, I got 2 years of notes. I don't have it, so apparently it was before me.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll second
We
her
have a
motion.
A second on the floor. For an inspection at 715 Belleville Avenue by Codes Enforcement.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Ezel,
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers,
Yes.
Commissioner Lance,
Yes.
Chairman Winters.
Any other business come before the Housing Board? We're adjourned. All right.